Morning, how you doing? Welcome to the next video. So today I've come to Great Yarmouth and I thought I'd go for a little walk along the seafront. So I'm at the southern end of the seafront in Great Yarmouth, which is where the pleasure beach starts, and I plan to walk from here right up towards past Wellington Pier, past Britannia Pier, and head up to the Waterways. Anyone that knows Great Yarmouth, you'll know the Waterways. That's a very nice little stroll around there. So yeah, I'll just flip the camera around and show you exactly where I am. There we go. I'm at the pleasure beach end, where the Premier Inn is as well. So there's the beach, Premier Inn. So yeah, what I plan to do is walk from here, like I said, and just concentrate on the seafront really. I don't plan to go into the town centre. I just want to walk along the seafront in this video. I know it is quite early, so if you notice there's not many people around, it's because it's, what is it, about 8:30 in the morning, something like that. No, about 8:15. But I just wanted to get out before it gets too busy, because it's holiday season. It's late July now, 2026. So if I was to walk up here sort of midday, it'd be very busy. But yeah. So this is called the promenade. So anyone that doesn't know Great Yarmouth, if you get to the seafront where the Britannia Pier is, and just walk along the red tarmac bit where I am now, they call that the promenade, and you can just walk. You can walk for quite a way. It's a good couple of miles, maybe 3 miles, I don't know, from one end to the other, because you've got the seashore holiday camp right up the north end, and the pleasure beach is on the southern end of it. So it's quite a long walk. So I don't know how long I plan to do this video, but I'll walk all the way along. I mean, it might be a bit of a long video, but here's the old roller coaster up there. Lovely. Let's go and have a little quick look at the beach. It'd be silly not to, really. Good thing is as well, it's not too windy at the moment, which I'm happy about. Not very sunny today. There's a little bit of sun, but not very sunny. Looks like the tide's in, so we can see the water close. Yeah, lovely. Look at that, I can only see one person down there walking their dog, but it'll be quite a bit different later. That's the other way. That's the Yarmouth harbour or port, where all the big boats go in up there. But it's quite a nice beach we've got here at Yarmouth. Right, let's get back to the promenade bit and do the walk. Hopefully we'll walk past some interesting sights. You've got the big wheel up there, obviously Britannia Pier, which has actually been done up in the last year or so. So if anyone ain't been to Yarmouth for a couple of years, you might notice the front of the pier looks a bit different. It used to have all the boards up, the people that were playing live there. It used to have just physical boards, but now they've got they've got a digital sign and cleaned it up. It looks quite nice. They done that last year, I think. And also, we'll walk past it. You've got the Winter Gardens, which has been shut for quite a few years or quite a while. That's been run down for a long time, but they're going to do up the Winter Gardens. I think they've actually already started work on it. Like I say, we're in July 2026. All right, calm down. God, it's so noisy, these seagulls. Yeah, so we're in July 2026 and they've started work on that Winter Gardens. And I think I see a sign on it saying it should be opening in early 2028 or something like that. We'll have a look. But it was originally made or erected in the West Country. I think it was like Devon Way, something like that. Taunton, I think, something like that. And that's where it originally was, in the early 20th century, I think it was, or maybe even in the late 1800s. I can't remember. I did read the sign. And what happened is, I think Yarmouth Council or someone in Yarmouth bought the building and they dismantled it and shipped it to Great Yarmouth. It was shipped to Great Yarmouth and then erected again here on the seafront. So, a little bit of history there for you. Don't quote me, but I think it might have been Taunton for some reason. I'm thinking that place. See if we can see a plaque or something on there. But yeah, that's the Winter Gardens. You've obviously got the Wellington Pier, which is next to the Winter Gardens. The big wheel. Then we come to all the arcades and stuff. Britannia Pier. But I want to finish up on the Waterways. The Waterways is really nice. Nice place to walk. A few benches there as well. And obviously you've got the bowling greens, things like that. So hopefully it'll be a bit of an interesting video. Our wind turbines out there at sea. They're not moving much. That's an indication it's not too windy today. Lovely. But yeah, with this sort of time of year, generally what I like to do is get out early doors, because like I say, yeah, it probably looks a bit better on the videos if there's loads of people about, people on the beach, etc. But I find, I don't know, I like to get out before the crowds, to be honest with you. You can't always do it like that way, but out of choice I'd rather be out early doors. Welcome to Great Yarmouth. As I say, that's quite nice sand, that is. Some beaches you go, they've got a lot of stones in and stuff. This is quite nice here at Yarmouth. Quite smooth, fine sand. I suppose I could have walked along the seafront, actually on the beach, but that'd be a bit slower. And I'd get trainers full of sand. Yeah, so anyone that don't know Yarmouth, this is the southern end of it, where the pleasure beach is. Obviously most people have heard of the pleasure beach, all the rides, roller coasters, etc. Bit further up here you've got the Wellington Pier, that green and cream building there, and yeah, you'll see the rest of it. But the main road sort of in Yarmouth is called Regent Road, and that leads from sort of the town centre, and if you follow it all the way down, it leads you to right opposite Britannia Pier, which is the main pier. So yeah, we'll have a quick look at Regent Road, but I'm not going to walk up it because that takes you right into the town, and I want to concentrate on the seafront in this vid. I like green tiles on a roof, I don't know why. I like seeing them. Right, so that there, you can walk up there further and go under that Wellington Pier, but I want to go, I think, no, I will go up there. I did want to walk around the front of that Winter Gardens and have a look at it. I suppose we can see it from the back part here. What you might notice about the piers here at Yarmouth, what I noticed, the water only goes, the piers actually only go to where the water starts. So same with this one and the Britannia Pier. It doesn't look to me like the water goes under the pier at all, which I thought was a bit weird, because I thought that was the idea of a pier, that you're walking on the boardwalk and then you're walking over the water, but it ain't really the case here. So maybe, I don't know, something's changed. Maybe it used to be the case where the water used to go under the pier, but it doesn't seem to. Not that I can see anyway. But there you go. Some sort of new building thing going on here. Like I say, it's July 2026. I don't know what that's going to be. The top of that, over that green metal building there, the top of that, that is the Winter Gardens, and that's what they're working on. Here we go, Wellington Pier. We'll have a look at the front of it in a minute. This one ain't too bad, but the next pier, when you walk under the next one, if I go that way, you've got to mind your head when you go under there, 'cause it's really low. Right, so here we go. This is the back of the Winter Garden, what they're doing up. As you can see, it looks a bit run down, but here we go. The Winter Gardens opening, opening 2028. New steel supports, ironwork cleaning, so they're going to clean up the ironwork. New steel supports, glazing removal, ironwork repairs. It's just a pure it is an ironwork frame building. It's a lovely structure, but obviously dated, so they need to, or they want to do it up a bit. And that's the top of it there. We'll have a look around the front. Also look at the big wheel as we go round. And you've got, in a minute coming up, we've got the Sea Life Centre on the left. That's quite well known, a lot of people go in the Sea Life Centre. Also there's the Marina Centre coming up as well, we'll see that in a bit. So if you did want to go swimming, indoor swimming around here, you've got the Marina Centre. And I think it's not just a swimming pool, I think there's a gym in there as well, things like that. Yeah. Look how quiet it is. It ain't that early, I mean, it is gone 8 o'clock, but there's hardly anyone around. Like I say, I quite like it like that. But give it a few hours, this will be buzzing, especially holiday season and all that. So here's the big wheel. We'll have another look as we walk past in a bit. But I want to go around the front here. So yeah, that's the Sea Life Centre. Like all your marine sort of things, go in there and have a look, have a butcher's. Yeah, so we're going to sort of have to walk back on ourselves a bit, but I want to see the front of this. Yeah, so Sea Life, Great Yarmouth, main entrance here, I think. Yeah, we can get a better view of the Winter Gardens building here. There we go. Hopefully you can see that quite clear on the video. It does look a little bit dark, but is that what their opening's going to look like? Don't know. Yeah, probably. So they're going to keep, obviously looks like they're going to keep the original ironwork, but maybe do the front up a bit. I don't know. Do not know. Right, and that is the front entrance to the Wellington Pier, if you was interested. Alright, I won't walk further down there because we've already gone back on ourselves a bit. So now we'll just walk along here on the front and go past the big wheel and Marina Centre up to the Britannia Pier. Quite a nice morning actually, not too hot, not too cold, not too windy. Mustn't grumble, as they say. Yeah, you'll probably see the fronts of the obviously you'll see the fronts of the arcades and that, but I don't think they'll be open yet, it's too early. But it does look a lot different when they're open, especially if you used to walk along here at night. I actually looks quite nice when you walk along here at night, everything lit up and that. But that could be another video. So yeah, the big wheel. Don't know how much it is to go on the big wheel, but I imagine you get a really nice view from up there. Yeah, that's the old Sea Life board thing. Royal Hotel over there. Yeah, we're getting a nice closer view here. Morning, mate, you alright? Morning. Yeah, here we go. Bosh. That's the front of it. Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah. There's the price on the front. Obviously these prices are from July 2026. Let's have a walk around the other side. A wheelie great day by the sea. A wheelie great day. Yeah, that is quite impressive. You can just imagine you get a lovely view right back into the town, and obviously right out to sea as well from up there. Nice. I don't think I've ever been on that. I don't know. Get our way back to the promenade. The cow shed. I like the look of that recycling thing over there, recycling ship. Looks like you put your plastic bottles in there. Let's have a look. HMS Elephant, that says. Obviously that's the Britannia Pier up there. That's where we're heading. Don't know if you can see that. I'm certainly not going to read all that, but you could always pause it and zoom in maybe. I don't know. Right, let's keep strolling. Yeah, I've seen one of them before. I've seen one, they've got one at Galston, I think, as well, Galston on Sea. So yeah, if you're ever in Yarmouth and you don't know it too well, it's always worth a trip to Galston as well. Galston is part of Great Yarmouth, but it's a little bit further south, and they've got a really nice beach there as well. And it's, like I say, that's worth a visit, Galston on Sea, if you're in Yarmouth. In my opinion. Little young seagull there looking for his breakfast. That's one thing as well. If you're ever in town in Great Yarmouth, and you go and get the chips from the chip stall. Yeah, let's walk back up here because I want to get to the arcade there. Yeah, if you're ever in Yarmouth itself, in the town, most people go to the chip stalls there. Just be careful when you're eating them out in the open, because them seagulls, they do swoop down. They like to nick a chip or two if they can. What I generally do is, if you stand up back yourself up against a wall, or a shop front or something like that, they generally don't like that. They don't come too close. But if you're out in the open and they see a nice portion of chips, bit risque. So yeah, little heads up there, especially youngsters as well. A lot of people buy chips and that and give them to people, kids in a pram or whatever. Be very careful with that, because they do swoop down and they'll nick them. And yeah, a lot of the time as well, when you buy the chips, a lot of the people that sell them there, they do sort of give you a bit of a heads up with that. But there is a shelter now there. It's too far to walk from here to film it, but that's been done up as well. If you ain't been to Yarmouth for a few years, they've got a new like canopy bit in the middle of the market square, so if you get your chips you can go under the canopy, and that's alright under there, no problem. The problem I find is when you walk out in the open, just got to be a little bit careful with the old seagulls. That's just my personal opinion and tip for the morning. So yeah, this is the Marina Centre. Like I say, it's not just a swimming pool, I think it's a gym as well, so I ain't been in there. I think I might have done actually quite a few years ago, but might have changed a bit. Yep, and this is the main entrance for that, if you want to go in there. The Gold Rush. And obviously round the back, round that way, you've got well worth a visit as well, which I find interesting. You may not, I don't know. It's called the Time and Tide Museum. That's really interesting. So it's all about the history of Yarmouth, because it used to be a big fishing, I mean they still do fishing here, but it used to be massively popular, I think in the 19th century. So yeah, there's a bit of old adventure golf if you want that, pirate adventure golf. Yeah, it tells you all about the history of the town, how it used to be a big fishing part of the country. It's really interesting actually. It used to be mainly for herring fishing, but that's well worth a visit, I would say. And also you've got the hippodrome's around the back there as well. What I'll do, because I'm not going to walk into the town and show you a lot of these other sites, what I'll do is I'll take some photos and hopefully add them to the end of the video. So a little bit like what I did with that, I don't know if you've seen my Clacton video I did the other week. What I'll do is I'll take some photos of the attractions and then put them at the end of the video. There we go, look at this, look. An anchor in flowers. How good is that? That looks lush. I imagine that would look brilliant from the air.
Why are you off there?
Look at that. The old grass is looking parched at the minute, but that is, we ain't had a lot of rain at all, so you can see why it's all brown. But look at that, it looks lovely. Yeah, so we're coming up to the pier now, Britannia Pier. There's a cat over there, look, having a mooch about. Let's go over to this thing. I can see some sea horses. There's the cat, look. Hello. Little mooch about. Yeah, the old sea horses here. Yeah. Yeah, so this might be a bit of a long video, this, but if you want to walk and see along the seafront of Great Yarmouth, then it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, so there's the old Britannia Pier over there. I think I'll get a look from here, then we'll go around the front. There's another one of them flower anchors. I think that looks brilliant. Yeah, so what I'll do is right, we'll go up here now. We're coming up to the part where you can get on the horse rides. Oh, here we are, we're here. See these little canopies here? This is where if you want to get a horse ride with a cart, you can go on here. And there's the trough. So these canopies are obviously here for the horses when it gets a bit too hot or whatever, covers them up. Yeah, you can get on the horses there. Yeah, look at that. I think that looks brilliant. Like I say, if you could get a bird's eye view of that one, it'd look brilliant. Oh yeah. Yeah, so you can get on, what do they call it? Land rides? Yeah, so if you want to do that, this is where you go. Yeah, so you might notice, like I said, if you ain't seen it in a few years, couple of years, the front of the pier, the front of the pier has been done up. I don't know if they did more work on the other part of the pier, but I know they was working on the front, and it's a bit different. Like I say, you've got the digital sign now. Quick look in a minute, but that up there, that's Regent Road up there. That's the main road. Here we go, Britannia Pier. That's the Arc Cinema over there. Britannia Pier. Yeah, so that's the main sort of, that's Regent Road over there. That leads you right up into the town centre. Or, if you're coming from the town centre, walk to the end of it and it'll lead you right to here, Britannia Pier. Here's the bowling greens. A lot of people just sit and watch a game of bowls. It's nice. If you want to see a film while you're up here, there's the old, there's the cinema, Arc Cinema. There's something quite interesting about that. I did read before. Let's have a little crossover. Do the crosser. Yeah, this building, although it's obviously the cinema now, this used to be an aquarium years and years ago. How I know that is by this plaque on the wall, which I shall show you, and you can read it. Hopefully you can read it anyway. Yeah, look, Royal Aquarium, containing fish tanks, ponds, roller skating rink, stage and reading rooms. Following bankruptcy, building completed to a reduced plan by Bottle and Oli in 1883. So yeah, it used to be an aquarium. It's a cinema now. There you go. I think someone said to me it's still got, even though it's a cinema, it's still got one of the old aquariums or an aquarium, something like that in there. I ain't actually ever been in there, but if you want to see a film, that's where you go, or one of the places you go. Yeah, so a lot of people, when there's a game of bowls on, which is quite often here, especially in the summer, they sit on these benches, have a sandwich, cup of tea, and they watch a bit of bowls. Why not, if you like that sort of thing? So I want to go back towards the promenade now, and then we're going to be heading towards the new beach huts, which I think the beach huts were finished last year, 2025, I think, so they're not that old at all. I quite like the beach huts, you'll see them in a minute. I think there's 45 or 43 of them, something like that. Did walk along and past them before. I actually walked past them when they was still building them, putting them together. Yeah, back onto the promenade now. Yeah, such a wide beach here as well. It's really nice. There's plenty of room. And then it sort of goes into dunes up here. Still a bit of beach, but it goes into dunes. I mean, you could just walk for miles and miles. Further up north of here, if you was to walk along the beach, take you a little while, but further up is the is Caister. And then you'll come after that, if you kept walking, you'd go to a place called Scrapby. There's a lot of caravans up that way as well. But yeah, it is a nice walk actually. And then further north to that is a place called Winterton. Here we go, there's the old beach huts here. Look. Starting at number 1. Let's count how many. I think it's 45. Could be wrong, could be 43. It's one of the two. But yes, that's another place you could visit if you're up this way. Winterton's nice. Also, a bit further up the coast from that is Halsey, a place called Halsey or Halsey Gap. So if you're into your wildlife and you like seals, if you're into your sea life, certain times of the year it's really good to go there because there's so many seals that go onto the beach, but you have got to keep your distance from them. You have definitely got to keep your distance, but you can sort of stand back and view them and watch them. You get a lot of certain times of the year you get a lot of photographers up that way, and it is nice. Halsey, yeah. The old wind's picking up a little bit. Yes, there are wind turbines out there. As I tried to show you earlier, you might be able to see them a bit better now. They're not moving a lot. Yep, here we go. So there's 43. I don't know if you can see that. I said 43 or 45. It's actually 43 beach huts. There you go. I think you can buy these as well, or lease them. Let's have a. There was a sign. Oh yeah. Yeah, beach huts. There you go. There's 43 of them. Everything will be sort of opening up within the next hour or so, so I'm quite glad I got along here before it got too busy. But as I say, if you walk along here sort of from 11 AM onwards, even in the town centre, especially this time of year, it's busy usually. Holiday makers. It is nice, but I don't think it's ideal for filming really, when recording when there's too many people about. Right, this is the famous Waterways of Great Yarmouth, and there is I'll try and show you, there's quite a few signs in the waterways, but it was actually constructed by former soldiers from when they come home from World War One, apparently. So this was constructed in the 1920s, and when the soldiers were returning from World War One, loads of people was unemployed and out of work, so that this was part of a project that got them working again and stuff. Should probably say it on here. Yeah, old soldiers and stuff. There's loads of these sort of signs around, so we'll have a look as we go around. But yeah, and it was also, the design is based on Venice in Italy. So if it reminds you of somewhere and you've been to Venice, it might be because of that. You can see it as you walk around. That's where the idea came from. You can actually see this a lot better from the air, but obviously I can't fly. I did have a drone, and I think I've still got a video I did of this, so if I've still got it somewhere, what I'll do is I'll post it on as a short or something. But yeah, this looks brilliant from the air. If you're on YouTube anyway, just go and Google the waterways, and there'll be someone else that's done a drone video of it. There's loads of people have done it, but it does look lovely from the air. Yeah, look, this sundial. Apparently on these sundials there's inscriptions of famous writers from years ago that have got association with the town, and this one is Anna Sewell. What she said here: it is good people who make good places. Yeah, so she had an association with the town. I think she might have even been born here, I don't know, Great Yarmouth. But someone else who had an association is Charles Dickens, and I think he wrote one of his books here, or some of it, or he based one of his books on the area. I think it might have been David Copperfield. So he's got an inscription on one of the sundials, which is further up, so we'll have a look at that, hopefully, if I don't forget. Construction and restoration. But this is just a really nice chilled out place to walk. So if you want to get away from the hustle and bustle, if you are here on holiday and it's a really busy time of year, what you can do is walk down to where like the pier bit is, do a left, and then you're here on the waterways, and it's usually pretty quiet here. You've got quite a few benches dotted around. You can just sit and just chill out. Usually it's a nice place. I'll try and show you it, quite a lot of it, but I want to sort of get a little bit of a move on, because this video is already about 45 minutes long? I'm just trying to look. No, not that it matters, but loads of little bridges. Nice it is, really is nice. Morning ducks, how you doing? No, I don't want to scare you, and no, I haven't got any breakfast for you. I'm just saying morning. So yeah, you can sort of walk around the edges, or you can walk through the middle, like what I'm doing at the minute. But there's you can go around each edge if you desire. Yeah, and there's places where you can get a cup of tea, coffee, or whatever you want. But look how brown that, or straw colour, that grass has gone. We could definitely use a drop of rain here. Definitely. Yeah, and then that promenade bit where I was, that red tarmac bit, that's just there, so you can cut through if you want. Hopefully you can get the feel for the place by watching this without listening to the sound of the dust cart, obviously. But yeah, it's a right chilled out space. Yeah, so you can walk in this bit, but there is signs up that says no cycling, so you're not supposed to cycle in this bit. Just a place for walking, strolling about. There is fishing here. I have seen them before. I don't know if we can see them today. I have seen them before, and there's some nice. When them water lilies flower, they look lovely. They do, but I'm obviously here at the wrong time. The Waterways community. Yeah, this bit here coming up, they have like sort of model boats. On some days you see them going around in the water. That's this little bit here usually, from where that shed thing is. They're not out at the moment. I suppose it's a bit early doors, but that is where they usually go. Further up we've got the boating lake, so we'll have a look at that. That's still part of the Waterways, but it's actually, you can hire little boats out and go around the boating lake. So yeah, this is where they do the model boats. It's really nice just walking around here. Yeah, so this bit, I guess we're coming up to the end of. So they do actually call these. They actually call these the Venetian waterways as well. Obviously, a lot of people just call it the waterways, but I think they are also known as the Venetian waterways. And I guess that part of it sort of ends here, and over the road we just cross over here, and this is where the boating lake is. In a second, let's look at the old sign here. Yeah, so this over here is where the boating lake is. You can hire out little boats. Oh, there's a few little model boats going around in here, look. So they obviously do it on this lake as well as the other little one. Yeah, again, look, it says about unemployment in the town was high, and it was in other towns and cities across the country. The scheme to build the ornamental gardens and boating lake was funded by the National Relief Fund, set up to create jobs. It first opened in 1928 and reopened again after extensive restoration in 2019. So that's the main Venetian part, I think, and this is obviously the boating lake. Look at that old picture. It's basically the same as that still, but about 100 years apart. I think there is actually fish in this bit. I did see some fish before, but they look nice, them boats. So obviously here in the middle bit, if you wanted to, you can hire out these little boats and go around the boating lake. It's a nice space actually. Look, there's all benches dotted around as well, so you can always just sit down and take it easy. I think we're sort of coming to the end of the video here now, so this is about where I wanted to film up to. You can walk further, but there's not a lot more up that way to see for quite a while. You've got like the dunes on the right, and then if you keep walking up you'll come to Seashore, the holiday park. That's quite a long way from here to walk. Well, not a long way, but it's there'd be no point in filming going up to that bit because it'd be quite boring because there's not much to look at. But so I think I'll end the video in a minute. But I'm glad I got the walkways, and I'm glad it was a little bit sunny as well as I was doing it. What's stopping you dressing like that now? Eh? Right, so I'll end the video there. That was my little walk in Great Yarmouth this morning. Hope you enjoyed that. Quite nice walking along the seafront there. And I deliberately did it early. I know, like, it probably looks better on the camera if it was busier, but I prefer it when it's not so many people about. That's why I went early. But yeah, hopefully you saw quite a bit of the seafront there. And as I said, what I'll try and do is take some photos and add them to the end of this video. So the places I didn't walk, hopefully you'll get to see some of the attractions. But yeah, there you go. That's that video from Great Yarmouth. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you again soon. See you later.